I still don't have any internet, so I had to use this makeshift setup one more time. So if you guys can get over to the other chat, which I don't seem to be able to, I don't know why. You can't do it on these Apple products. It doesn't seem to let me. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, if you got ability to get on over to the main chat stream, please invite them over here because this is where we're gonna be. And I don't, I don't see any way to get over there. This is very bizarre. Hmm. Let's see if I go to the original channel. Yeah, we're the other one, the scheduled show, can't do it. I'm still on this iPad thing. But anyway, welcome to What the Fuck Tuesday, the makeshift edition. And it looks like we got 24 questions today on Tuesday, May 18th, 2020. This is a live stream relationship advice show. We don't answer your questions here on the air. All these questions have been previously submitted, and my cousin puts them into a document. I read the questions on the air, and then I answer them off the cuff, just right in front of you in real time. No rehearsal, no practice. I know as much about these people as you do, so don't ask me questions. I don't know. I don't know these people. They just write in. So hi everybody, let's get started. People will drift over here, as they find the show. Question number 1. We got 24 questions today. We got 24 questions. Hey, you guys, can you guys tell the people that might be over in the other show to come over here because I still don't have internet. I'm using my phone, what they call this thing? Hotspot, to connect to YouTube. So if you could grab people, let them know to come on over here. Thanks a lot. Thank you. All right, let's get going here. I've got question number 1. This is from a female in the 22 to 25 age group from Lexington, Kentucky. And she says, hey, ladies of the squad. So I have been seeing my boyfriend for about 6 months. He's 27. I'm 22. Last week I was at a party with him and some of his friends. On one occasion, I was talking to a few other ladies, and one of the dudes from his group approached me and made a comment that suggested that the girl I was talking to was a girl that my boyfriend had a history of hooking up with. The girl realized I was his current girl and took on a very snarky attitude, like to rub it in my face. I was completely shocked and just stood there frozen. I excused myself and continued on my walk of shame. Dang. On my walk of shame. A few of my conservative friends were also there to witness that, and I felt completely humiliated. I'm humiliated by something someone else has done. I want to ask you, Deb, what are some courses of action to take in a situation where you're confronted by your partner's past, and doing so to maintain self-respect for both myself, my partner, and the other person? Well, see, that's how you know that you're a sweet and lovely young lady, because a true bitch would have been like, so she got all snarky. So why, you mad because he rejected you for me? Who wouldn't want this versus you? Look at you. You look like a troll, and you act like one too. I mean, I don't know what I would say under the circumstances, but whatever you do that $6 million band scan, and you find something to rag on her about. Her face, her big nose, her, misbuiltness, her big broad back. She don't have no booty. She got knobby knees and slew-footed, pigeon-toed, whatever you see, that you can talk about, you just go at it. And then that will teach people not to, well, that's what I'm saying. You don't sit there and let somebody like bitch at you like that and make you feel bad. Oh my God, that just would have been a license for me to act like the original fool, the one that's in the dictionary under the first fool. That would have been me, just acting completely up because of her trying to, embarrass you. How, first of all, I'm trying to understand how you gonna get embarrassed and humiliated or feel like it's a walk of shame because of some clowns from his past. You know, I mean, that was over before you even met him. So it really has nothing to do with you. But, you know, it still would be good to just clown her and say, well, yeah, you the has been. You in the past. You know, you what he returned to the pile because you wasn't good enough. And so here I am. And there you go. Something along those lines. Anyway, you get the general idea. Whatever fits the circumstances, whatever fits, you know, her look and how she's dressed, her friends, the atmosphere, whatever, you just use all of that for inspiration and you just put on your clown nose and just go to town. That's what you do. So let's move on. That's not something that, you know, you should be feeling bad about, in other words. Let's move on to question number 2. We got 24 questions in case you missed it. I guess people are slowly trickling over here. Because I see only 30 people in the chat. There's usually 100 and something by now. But I think people are still waiting for me in the other stream. Quote question number 2, male in the 26 to 29 age group from Hartford, Connecticut. My situation's not a huge deal since I've only known this girl for about 6 months, but I am pissed, so I'm curious as to what your response will be. Here's the deal. I met a girl. We got along well. I thought she was, quote, nice. So not too fussed when she held out on having eggplant. Said she wasn't getting into bed with too fast and said that she wasn't like that. Okay, no problem. Took us about 2 months to get to it. I have just found out that while we were, quote, getting to know each other for 2 months, end quote, she had ongoing eggplant in a friends with benefits situation. I'll give her the benefit of the doubt and say she stopped with him when we started having eggplant, but she was having eggplant with him for 2 months while telling me she wanted to take it slow with me because that's the way she is and I'm special, etc. We all know the end game here, but I have not yet confronted her with this. Before I do, I want to be prepared. I like your idea of how she would respond, so I'd have good counters to her justification, explanation, whatever they may be. I would really appreciate women's views on this. Thanks. So you guys can chime in too, since he's, you know, asking for women's with apostrophe S input, not just mine. I'm gonna say this. Just because you dating somebody, that don't mean she your woman, and that don't mean she got to give you shit, and it don't mean that you have no claim on her. Okay, now until you get with the girl and say, I want this, you know, I want to be something serious, I want it to be one-on-one, I want it to be a relationship with her. Who she's fucking, that's none of your business. How often she fucks him, that's none of your business. Who, where, why, how often, none of that is any concern of yours. So you stepping into this thing where you want to be judging and trying to put something on somebody, you don't get to do that. Okay? She wasn't your girlfriend. It's just somebody you was dating. She don't owe you no kind of loyalty. You got the shit twisted. When you decide that you're gonna be a couple, then that's when all them other situations drop off. But until that day happens, until you have that conversation with her, what she's entitled to do whatever she want to do with as many people as she want to do it. And if you're not one of them because she sees you as somebody that she don't want to just fucking run, well then that's a good thing, don't you think? Instead you mad because you're not getting treated like the booty call dude. All you thinking about is some pussy. So is there anything else that this girl offers you besides sex? Because that seems to be all you focusing on right now. Dude, you tripping. You tripping. I just really, you know, I hope that what happens is after you get in her face with all this bullshit, that she cusses you out and breaks off with you and tells you to keep it moving. That's what I hope happens to you. Because you acting real stupid right about now. Like you don't know this. I have to go over this very rudimentary part of dating. You think just because you show up on the scene and start going out with somebody that they supposed to drop all the other men, especially the ones that they fucking for you. You tripping. Question number 3. This is a female, the 30 to 36 age group from Virginia Beach, Virginia. Auntie Deb, I'm in a crisis. I've been pushed so far, and now I'm at a crossroads in life. I'm probably going to leave my fiance because he and his family are ganging up on me, and I can't take it anymore. We have a child together who's almost 2. We originally planned to move in together when I was pregnant, but at the last minute, his family begged us to move into his mom's house so the family could be closer and we could have support. So we're in his mother's house. Bam, COVID hits, and I lost all my family coming over. His mother talks about me behind my back. She tells him that he listens to me too much and that I'm manipulative, only when he wants something other than what she wants, of course. But when she wants him to do something, she expects me to help her convince him. So which is it, lady? Does you want me to be manipulative or to leave it alone? She criticizes my East parenting, even though I've always been more involved with the baby than her son. My daughter's always with one of us. I rarely ask for more than brief babysitting for a grocery run or hair appointment. His mother recently started contradicting me in front of my child. She's a picky eater, and I told her I'm not playing along. We had a gathering where it was just me and all his family. They fed her fruit all day and tried to end the stay in dessert. I said no. She started saying that I was being selfish, mean, and teasing the baby because I ate my dessert in front of her. I told her I don't care about her being upset for dumb reasons and she'll be fine. They all ganged up on me and gave her sweets against my wishes. I wish a motherfucker would. I've been trying to tell him that I can't take all this pressure on me to always be perfect and get no help. I told him I want to move out. It's so bad I don't even care if I take the baby. He is now calling me selfish. He keeps saying that he'll help me move and oh, so you're still going to leave the baby? I told him that he has to choose. He can't remain neutral because everyone else is happy at my expense. Am I wrong? No. You are with a weenie. But see, this is why you don't have kids with men that you are not married to. This is a perfect example of it. Had you spent more time with him and around his family, you would already know that this is some bullshit, and you wouldn't have had no kid, and you wouldn't have moved in that house. So some things got rushed here, and your focus was on wrong things. You shouldn't have been having no kids. So now you got this 2-year-old baby, and you see that his family are a bunch of idiots. Your kid's gonna end up with teeth rotting out of her head, malnourished, having all kind of health problems when she's an adult because you're spineless, your man is stupid, and his family is crazy. This was bad decision making all the way around. I don't know what to say. But if it were me, I definitely would not leave my little girl in that environment. I mean, I understand your frustration and all of that. But, don't you have a job? Can't you gonna pay some child support and stuff? So just move out, get you a 1-bedroom apartment. That's all you need. It's just the two of you. You could share the room. And we'll give you a 1-bedroom apartment or even a big studio. You don't need a lot of space. She's still, tiny. And then you do what you need to do until you get yourself situated better. Okay? Let's move on to question number 4. We got 24 questions today. Thank you. No, she didn't move. Well, she talking about she wants dude to choose. She wants him to move with her, evidently. She was trying to keep her little family together. But I'm saying, he hasn't intervened against his mother and his relatives. He's already made his choice, and his choice is not you and it's not his daughter. He's choosing his family over both of you. So I would take my baby and I would leave them people alone. That's what I would do. Let's move on to question number 4. This is a male in the 26 to 29 age group from Washington, D.C. So I was stupid. That's rare for people to admit it right off the thing. He says I was stupid and decided to read the last emails from the ex I'm trying to go no contact with. I have been warned by friends and read about narcissism. I realized that I was being manipulated and I was being naive, which I'm very thankful to find out. I have her blocked on Gmail, but the emails still show up in my spam folder. I seen subject problem, so I was a bit concerned and I've read it. Here's what she wrote. I'm sure you have a serious problem. I'm convinced you suffer from bipolar affective disorder. Please start solving it with somebody who can help you. I'm really worried about you. It's serious. She's blaming me for things you just created in your mind and never actually happened. I care for you, so please start solving. It is serious. So now I'm being told all this stuff was make-believe? That's nuts. Isn't that what a manipulator does? And it's called gaslighting? Exactly. When I opened the previous email and it was her saying that she wants to get married, have my child, she sent some intimate pictures. But she's on a dating app. Make sure to swipe left on that one. So what's going on here? Is this person just a super master manipulator? And why would someone try to manipulate somebody like that? I just don't get it. Is it a lack of empathy? No. Narcs, like, see, you aren't supposed to leave them. They're supposed to leave you. It's called narcissistic discard. And if by the fact that you escaped and, she didn't really get to grind her hooks into you the way that she wants to, she's going to keep circling back and she's trying to make it you feel like you did something wrong, that the thought that you guys are together is something about your fault and that you're the problem. And so what you are supposed to do is unspam that email, crack your knuckles, and write her back and say, look, you crazy narcissistic bitch, don't ever write me again trying to guilt trip me about the crazy shit that you did. I have it chronicled. I know you did it. None of this, you trying to play these word games with me like I'm stupid, are not gonna work. You're a dumb bitch if you think that's the case. I'm so through with you, I can't even imagine even wanting to talk to you. This is the last communication you're going to get from me. Everything you send me is going in the spam folder to be deleted immediately. I'm blocking you on my phone. I'm blocking you on all my social media. I hope you eat shit and die. There, the end. And that's what you say to her. But you being all quiet and reticent and, really giving serious thought to what she's talking about. Like, what's wrong with you? I don't know. I don't get it. She wouldn't get nothing from me. This chick. All right. But I like the way you said I was stupid. All right. Let's move on to question number 5. So I'm in a position. Oh, I'm sorry. Male, 21 to 25, from the Gold Coast of Australia. So I'm in a position where I'm into dating, but my search so far has been really frustrating. I've been trying online dating and apps, but all of those dates have gone quite poorly, and I'm also really struggling with connecting with girls out in the real world. The only girl whom I have a shot at is this one who frequently comes shopping into the store I work at. She typically comes in for coffee, and I've been thinking of asking her out. But a couple of weeks ago, I got a warning from one of her friends, a coworker of mine, to not date her, citing her racism, entitlement, spoiled attitude, and stalkerish behavior. Granted, I haven't experienced any of this from the girl in person. I was just going off a hearsay from her former friend. I know that she comes off as a piece of work, but I've reached a point where I'm seriously thinking of just settling on her. She's my only option at this point, and I don't know what else to do. She's really pretty, and I think I have a good chance with her. I suppose I can excuse some of her behavior if it's true, so long as she just makes for a good girlfriend. What do you think? I think that you should at least talk to her and find out for yourself what the problems are. You take what people say that have experience with someone with a grain of salt. I mean, you listen, but you have to make those kind of judgments yourself because of the fact that there's so many different agendas at work sometimes. Sometimes someone might be jealous because they want you for themselves. So they're going to tell you something to keep you from pursuing someone else. Sometimes someone might be jealous of that other person or mad at them and on some kind of vendetta. So they don't want them to have somebody nice like you. So they're going to tell you horrible things about them. Sometimes, they've had beef just between the two of them. No man is nothing about a man. And, they just want to be a bitch to her and have you believe in something that's not true. And then sometimes what they're telling you is 100% facts. So, I don't know which one it is, and neither do you. But I'm saying that you should at least make an effort to try to talk to her and get a number and go on at least one date. And then you can find out the answers to those questions yourself. Okay? That's what I would say. Because you know how we are with one person? That doesn't mean we're going to be like that with everybody. Because I know there's some dudes around here that think I am just like the bitch of life, the way that I act. And the others say, what, Deb, she's so sweet. Because they bring that side out, and the other ones just bring out that fury. So it just depends, a lot of how you're going to respond to people is based on them. Yeah, it's hard for me to see this tiny little writing here. All right, so let's move on. And you gotta feel like too. I mean, I don't know where Gold Coast Australia is and what the population is, but she could hardly be your only choice, dude. But it seems like if you're attracted to her, so go for it. Just prepare yourself in case she cracks your face. Question number 6, male, 18 to 21, from Woodbridge, New Jersey. Me and my girlfriend were having a disagreement about me crashing at one of my friends' houses while drunk and not telling her. I'm 20, she's 22, if that's important. The argument got a little out of hand and emotional. My girlfriend lost her temper and started yelling her head off. I was getting frustrated by this as I felt like she wasn't paying attention to what I said since she wasn't calm anymore. In response to this, I said, Kat, you're acting hysterical. I'm done talking about this with you until you're ready to stop screaming and talk about this like adults. She then got even more upset, saying that she was being hysterical and said that I, as a man, have no right to call her hysterical and stopped speaking to me. She went home and she's been pissed at me ever since. I apologize for calling her hysterical, but she won't accept it. I'm assuming the word hysterical has something to do with women that I did not know about. What does the word mean, and what can I do to make it up to my girlfriend? It means something that you could have looked up on Google before you go start using words you don't know what the fucking meaning of. But it is kind of associated with a slur of femininity. When women are frustrated and angry, and vocalizing their frustration and anger, then men will tend to brush it off and downplay it by saying that she's hysterical. So once you label her hysterical, that means that you don't have to listen to her anymore. That's why she got mad. But was she acting hysterical? Sound like she was to me. All that yelling and screaming because you slept somewhere drunk. Would she want you to drive around and get a DUI, or would she get in an accident and die? Would that have made her feel better? I'm not really understanding why she thinks you should be calling her all the time. This is what, if it were me, if you were me, and she was, the situation was reversed, I would have told her, you ain't my mama. I don't have to fucking report into you. I'm a grown-ass man. I do what the fuck I want to do and go where the fuck I want to go and sleep where the fuck I want to sleep. And that's either you take it and you like it and you deal with it, or we can break up. Those are your two choices. Because see, this is the kind of attitude where she thinks she's, you have to check in with her and tell all this stuff. You're a 20-year-old dude. She's 22. That ain't your mother. You ain't engaged. You ain't married. That ain't your baby mama. She has no real no ties to you like that. So you, sir, need to squelch this kind of attitude that she's got and put her back in her box of girlfriend of a 20-year-old man. Because, you ain't nobody's mama. So I don't have to report it to you ever. If I do, out the kindness of my heart, you should feel grateful. But don't think you got the right to demand that I call you all the time and check in with you like you're a fucking probation officer or some shit. That's just not going to happen. And the fact that you're not talking to me now, that's probably a blessing in disguise. I don't know. If I was a dude, I probably wouldn't be a good boy. Because I have a fucked up attitude. That would have pissed me off. You're going to be yelling and screaming at me because I was drunk and spent the night somewhere else. That's what I'm supposed to do. And why do I need to call you? I'm not at my house. I'm not at your house. Then that means I'm somewhere else. Just let it go. Did she think he was with a woman? Even if he was, what you going to do about it? Why get hysterical? I don't know. I just don't get upset over men and their little shenanigans. I either just deal with it or I dump them. Those are really the only two choices. Question number 7, female, 26 to 29, from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Please don't reiterate how stupid I was to not see the signs and not know the obvious. So you asking me not to do what I do? That's not going to happen, chick. I did see some signs, some uneasy feelings that I chose to ignore them. She's putting this in the letter, okay? I'm not making this up. I saw some signs. I had some uneasy feelings, but I chose to ignore them. This is what she writes right here. I was able to find an excuse for everything, and now I can't get out. We met 2 years ago online. Immediately, this was different. We had actual conversations all day. We sent pictures of our kids, funny memes, sexual memes, everything. He would text me in the morning, at night, all hours of the day. The chemistry was undeniable. When we met, we couldn't stop touching each other, kissing each other. He's called me his dream woman. I'm amazing. He's never done things to other people that he's done to me, sexually, that is. After we met up last week, I noticed he had his work pants. He wears a uniform to work, And I thought that was weird because he works night and it was night, so he was obviously off. I didn't question it, but we spent the whole night together. We have never used protection. Hmm. I couldn't get over the pants thing though, so the next morning I texted him, "Do you have a secret wife or something?" He took hours to answer. It was then that I knew because he always answers me right away. He admitted that yes, he was married and he didn't know how to tell me. He was selfish that he couldn't let go of the chemistry and the connection we have, and he's so sorry, etc., etc. I blew up, of course, and cursed him out. I told him I didn't know what to do anymore. He asked me, how much do I want him because I still have him, and he still wants me. He can't get over me. Ooh, dude is good. He talking all kind of smack. Now, how can he possibly have a wife when he's communication with me all day? He works nights and watches his daughter during the day and sends me pictures of them all the time. He texts me, so I can't wait to see you. He misses me all over the day. I asked him how he managed to do it, and he says, I find a way. Why would he continue to have unprotected eggplant with me when there's always a chance of pregnancy when he has a wife? Why is he telling me we would make cute kids when he has a wife? How could he possibly love his wife when he's telling me all of this? This isn't only a physical affair, it's emotional. We have made countless tapes, etc. together. If I were his wife, I would be absolutely devastated if I ever saw any of the texts or tapes. It would seem that my husband has a whole other relationship with the woman that was planned. This is more than just it happened once or twice, it was a mistake, end quote. And in some way, I don't care about the feelings of his wife. She doesn't seem real to me, just a faceless person who I hate. I know I need to leave, but it's so hard. Oh, you don't need to leave. You need to kick your ass. But you know that's okay because what's going to happen is you're not going to do it and you're not going to leave him alone. And his wife is going to find out. And she's going to find out where you live. And then she's going to drive over there to your house and she's going to drag your ass outside and kick your ass all up and down the block. And then beat your ass and then slap you some more and then stomp you. And then what you going to do? Because see, this is the deal. When you don't know that someone is married, that's a different situation. But once you know and you continue to fool with them anyway, well, see, now you're making a decision to do some fucked up stuff. And it sounds like, he's going to worm his way back into your house, your bed, everything else, and keep you involved with him because, he's got that rap and you listening to it. It's not hard. All you have to do is decide that you're too good to be somebody's side chick. You don't want to be a side chick. You don't want to be, something for him to do where all his responsibilities, all his money, all his, love and everything else goes towards his wife and kid, whereas you get what's left over, which is just games and lies. So I'm not really sure what it is that you're struggling with, and you say, I know I need to leave, but it's so hard. I never understood when women say it's so hard. What's so hard? You just gonna wait until you get beat up or shot at or run over with some woman's car, because a lot of women don't play that, messing with my husband's stuff. They'll get to him too, but they gonna get you first, especially once they know that you knew he was married. If they don't know, they might give you some slack. If you don't know, they might really, be like, okay, well, that's 100% on him. But once you know and you continue to deal with dude anyway, well, see, now you're involved and you have to take some responsibility. And that means if your ass gets kicked, oh, well, should have been doing that. Let's move on. Question number 8. This is a male in the 26 to 29 age group from Spokane, Washington. So we had a party last night, and I didn't sleep at all. I had work at 7 this morning, and the woman I'm dating asked if she could come over and watch me work. She spent 4 hours with me, and she left her bra. I remember her taking it off, but only noticed it after I finished working, because I work at home. Does this type of thing happen often? Why do women leave items of clothing at a guy's house? Well, sometimes, it's planned. They want to do it and they leave it in some place that's kind of hidden where they know a man who rarely cleans anything is not going to see it, but some other woman will, so that she knows. It's kind of like a marking your territory kind of thing. Sometimes they do it because then it gives them an excuse, like it was supposed to be like a one-night stand type of thing, FWB moment or something. So now they had to say, oh no, I left my $35 designer silk bra at your house. I need to come and get it. So, it's not going to be something that they bought at like JCPenney's or Walmart. Oh no, it's going to be some fancy thing with hand embroidery and silk and satin and all this old stuff. So you're going to look at it and say, oh yeah, this did cost a lot of money. So you won't object to her coming over. It's usually one of those two things. I guess, maybe she really did just forget it. I don't know. My thing is that anything I take off, I always have my tote bag, and I stick my stuff in my tote bag. If I pull something out and I use it, like lotion, bubble bath, facial cleansers or something, after I use it, I put it back in my bag. So when it's time for me to go, I grab my bag and I know all my shit's leaving with me. I'm not trying to leave nothing at no dude's house because, my thing is I'll be mad if I have to call him to go back to get something. Then I have to weigh it. Is it better for me to just buy a new one after all that one was used? Maybe I'll just get a new one and let him have that one for me, old time's sake. I don't like to go backwards. So let's move on. Yes, sir. So it's going to be one of them three. Question number 9. This is a female in the 26 to 29 age group from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. She says, hello, Miss Deb and Candace. Thank you for the show and all that you do. Please tell me if I'm overreacting and how you would handle this situation. I have a friend who's about 45 years my senior. 45 years? She's in her late 60s. We talk a lot at work, but lately the totality of some of her comments has me massively disturbed. One day we were talking about Trump's comments about his daughter, and I said how disturbing it is that he is literally attracted to his daughter. She responded that she doesn't find men being attracted to a daughter disturbing, and that it's usually just an instinctive male response. She proceeded to defend men who are attracted to their daughters. Wow. She said it's normal and that most men of her generation think like this. Really now? On a different day, we were talking about the ACLU. I said that while I think they have done many wonderful things, I don't agree with everything they stand for. I expressed how I think their stance on inappropriate popcorn videos featuring children is dangerous and insane. The ACLU believes that possessing such material should be legal and that only the makers of it should be prosecuted. She explained how she agreed with that. The last straw for me came when we were discussing Matt Gaetz. I don't know who this is. The politician who was in the news for paying minors for eggplant. I said he was a creepy rapist, and she said that he wasn't a rapist because he didn't force himself on anyone. What do you think of this situation? How would you handle this? I began to distance myself from her at work. Are her comments about most fathers being attracted to their daughter true? Thank you again. Well, I don't know about most of them, but I'm telling you, it is a thing. If you go on popcorn sites, they have sections where that's, like they have, like, you can pick a subject or a genre. I don't know how you want to do it. Like, they might have like gay, they might have lesbian, they might have, I don't know, black, they might have, I don't know, Asian or something, and then they're going to have, men, father slash daughter. And they might have some actresses pretending to be it's like a pretend thing, but so many men in real life do that kind of thing. Girls talk about it, and it's their real father, not the stepfather, not the, godfather, not the foster father. I mean, they're guilty too, but I mean, the real father, the one who really birthed her. And so that is, it's common enough that she has a point, but I don't know how, I wouldn't have a guess as to what percentage pursue that line of thinking. It may be a common response, but it's still wrong. It's creepy for the daughter. It rocks her sense of safety, and it just makes her feel creeped out and weird. And I think it's disgusting. You talking about the ACLU? I too have parties to donate to them. I stopped once we parted ways on this trans shit because they were lobbying for these men to be on take over women's sports and to be able to use women's bathrooms. I stopped giving them a dime. It's like, no, you just throw real women under the bus in favor of these men with political power. You all ain't shit. I wrote them a scathing email. I don't know if they read it. I don't care. I felt better because I wrote it. Cussed them all out. And then Yeah, this thing, about children is very dangerous. It's dangerous, because if people not possessing it, then, people don't want to possess it, then there would be no reason to make it. So they go hand in hand. They're flip sides of a coin. So if one gets arrested, the others do too. And then the one who's in the news for paying minors, for since you say he's a creepy rapist, and she must not understand what minor means. They cannot consent. Okay, so he, you don't thinking he's giving them money to shut up, is basically, just like you said, that's assault of a minor. Those are minor children. So this lady, all in all, as these examples that you have provided, this woman is, something's wrong with her. I highly recommend that you stay far, far away from her as far as you possibly can, and tell her if she asks, say, our ideology about the protection of children, and well, that seems to be the core of everything here that you mentioned. It all has to do with children's rights and protecting children. So you could just narrow it down to that and say, our ideology about minor children and our obligation as adults to protect them, even if they're in our own family, are so divided. You're at one end of the spectrum and I'm at the opposite. And so I don't really, I can't respect your position at all, because it makes children suffer. And so I think it's best, and we will talk to each other, when there's stuff to talk about at your work related, but any social issues or any other private personal conversation, I'm done. We're not going to do that anymore. I don't want to disrespect you because you're a senior to me, but I have to tell you, I was very disappointed. I considered you a friend, and now I'm very disappointed in your stance. And that's it. We're going to cut ties. Something along those lines. And make sure you keep it professional, since you two work together. You don't call her any names or judgments or anything. You stick to the fact that your ideology is at opposite ends of the spectrum. You don't have to say what, because this note may make it back to HR. So be careful what you put in it, okay? Question number 10, male, 30 to 35, from Putney, England. Putney. A week ago, I got engaged to my girlfriend of 18 months. Yesterday, she invited me to go along to a pub in London to meet a male friend she has met there before. He is currently single. For 2 hours on and off, he kept talking about women he has met and women he's currently talking to, and talking about eggplant. To you and your girlfriend? At one point, wow, my girlfriend turns to me and says, "Didn't you tell your brother that I like anal?" And I replied, no. So this guy turns to my girlfriend and says, "Do you like anal?" To which she replied, "Yes." We've only ever had it once in 8 months, and she even told me that she's not a fan of it, and she doesn't do much for her, but she would do it for me if I wanted. That was 18 months. I'm sorry, I said 8. This behavior has disappointed me and made me feel sick. It's caused a big issue between us. When I first said it had upset me, she said sorry. But an hour later, I left to go home, and it hit me hard. I felt terrible. I was asking myself, was it right? Can I trust this person, etc.? After telling her again of my concern, she said it was nothing. I've already said sorry, and you're making this way too serious. But she later said this her body, and that we are two different people, and I'm private and she's an open person, and that is her body, and she won't be controlled because she's sorry if it offended me. I feel like I've been cheated on. I can't sleep. Am I overreacting? Is this normal or acceptable behavior? Shouldn't I accept it with a pinch of salt? No, you should get your ring back. See, this is a thing, that you have to look at. When someone has the mindset to talk about such intimate things with somebody in a bar that they're not sleeping with, and their man is right there. Okay, there's something, she has like no boundaries at all. None. And so, to humiliate you, maybe you don't want other dudes knowing that your girl likes anal and that y'all even do. What you do with the privacy of your relationship should not be discussed like that, out in a public place with some dude you don't even know. You just met the dude and she telling him all that kind of stuff. It's just ridiculous that she would think that that was okay and then try to justify it, talking about, we're two different people and, you're too serious and this and that. It's a matter of respect. It's a matter of decorum. It's a matter of modesty. It's a thing about understanding boundaries. And she fails on all four of those counts. So what you need to do, I'm telling you, you think this is bad? This is only the beginning. She's showing you what kind of person she is right now. You better pay attention. This is not somebody that you should marry. You guys have totally different values when it comes to this kind of thing. This is the kind of person she's going to feel like she has a right to bring people all up in the house and walk around in front of them nude and do all kind of stuff like that you're going to have a problem with, because her boundaries are way different than yours. Her mentality is way different than yours. I'm not sure how y'all got to the point where in 18 months where you thought that this was a good person to marry. But dudes, you are so wrong. You are so wrong. Get your ring back and then call that off. And go date somebody that has more sense and firmer boundaries about what she should be telling other men about her sex life when her man is right there. I mean, even if you weren't there, this is not a subject that she should be talking about with other men. That's a violation. This chick. Question number 11. Female, 30 to 35, from Winston-Salem, North Carolina. I've been in a relationship for 2 years and have lived together for over a year. My boyfriend has left to let us, quote, cool off within this time, end quote. The issue is he doesn't come back. He sleeps at his mother's some nights. This has happened more times than I can count. That being said, I'm a mother of 2 boys who I have myself with all week. It's been like this for about 6 years. Why you write me then? I'm not complaining because they're my kids and come first, but needless to say, I'm exhausted and I don't get much of a break. I hadn't had a real vacation by plane since my honeymoon almost 13 years ago. It's all I want. Even a few days to Florida would make me so happy. We've talked about it a lot and have wanted to take a trip for over a year. Lately, we talked about Florida. I looked at hotels and flights. We were going to take my kids, but their behavior wasn't great. An adult trip for me would have a second to breathe, was probably better anyway, being so long. So 2 weeks ago, my boyfriend left at 5:30 a.m., said bye to me while I was in bed, and flew to Florida without me. Okay, your letter is too long. I'm going to skip half of this. I thought if he was thinking of doing this, we were over. It's just not okay to sleep out that much in a live-in relationship. He's in his 40s. He went with his brother. The 4 days were worse than I can explain. Since he's been back, we've fought about it constantly. First off, because I don't agree to tell me at midnight when you're leaving at 5:30 a.m., saying he booked me a ticket when I have 2 kids asleep to have to get to school, making it impossible for me to go. He knew that. That's why he did it that way. Second, he responds to him doing it the same as when I took my kids for 2 nights to a lodge hotel in New Hampshire for us to get away and didn't tell him. Aside from it being a world of difference, the day I took them away, he had taken my car that morning. His was in the shop. Okay, he went to his mother's, blah, 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 blah. Okay, you talking all kind of stuff that don't have nothing to do with the issue. Am I wrong here is what your bottom line. I'm going to say this. Those ain't his kids. Okay? So the fact that you tired and you want a break and all that stuff, that don't have nothing to do with him. Okay, you looking all outside of yourself. Maybe your ass should only have 1 kid, then you would be having this problem. But my thing is this, even when married, I don't know, man, maybe this is just my weird thinking, but I look at women that have, 4 or 5 kids and all this stuff, and I'm like, okay, I always thought, even when I was married, if something happens to him, how many kids can I take care of by myself? And that could have been what happened, or we, something happened horrible. We ended up getting a divorce. Anything, you know what I mean? You never know. But I always, in the back of my mind, I always felt like it was important for me to manage my fertility, even in the confines of marriage, to have no more children than I could handle alone. So my max was going to be 2. And it ended up being 1, and I was glad because even that was hard. So, yeah. So anyway, you're putting stuff on him like he's your husband and all this kind of stuff, and he's not. He's not your kid's father. He's not your husband. So he's, you living with him and stuff. But if you don't like his activity, then kick him out. You've got this. Obviously, the place is yours. Yours, your two kids' place. So just boot him out. You could easily find somebody else to move up in there. It's all a bunch of homosexuals looking for a warm place to sleep and some free food and some cooch. They ain't you'd be happy. But you've lived together for over a year. It's only it's time for that to end. And he wants to cool off. He has things cool off. I suggest that you tell him that your stuff is going to be packed and he can come and get it as soon as he cools down. That's what you do. There's nothing about this. I mean, his whole mentality is completely different from what you're looking for in a relationship. He likes space and distance, and you want closeness, and he's not going to give it to you. Question number 12. This is from a female in the 40 to 45 age group from Scottsdale, Arizona. Over the weekend, I met up with some friends for a socially distant drinks in their garden. We all had some wine, but I had less than the others because I found that too much alcohol spikes my anxiety. We were all dancing, taking pictures, etc. But then my phone rang, so I looked down just before answering it. One of my friends, this is a woman who's 46, who was the most drunk, tried to grab my phone and ended up pinching my finger a bit as I resisted. She was just saying, just relax. What? This also caused my phone screen to go black and my phone not to turn on again for a while, but it's okay now. She finally let go, but grabbed onto my scarf. I had a coat, etc., as it was freezing, and pulled it really hard, causing a friction burn on my neck. She was really, really drunk and was sick in the taxi home, and she would never do this kind of thing sober, but I'm having trouble getting past it. She seemed to target me, and now I can't think of her in the same way. I've canceled meeting up with that group again, as I feel so strange about it all. Anybody's how to manage this weird situation would be appreciated. You don't cancel. This thing, I can't stand wimpy ass, scary ass, stupid women. You go to the next event that they have and you find that bitch and you say the last time we were here you grabbed my phone and almost broke it and then you made friction burns on my neck grabbing my scarf. I'm gonna tell you this, I'd let you get away with that shit, but that was your one pass. Anytime you touch me in a way that I perceive to be aggressive from here on out, I'm gonna kick your ass. And I don't give a fuck if you drunk or not. I'm gonna kick your fucking ass, bitch. So remember that shit and keep your fucking hands to yourself. Don't you touch none of my shit and don't you touch me. And then we'll be fine. That's the message you need to deliver to her ass. And you need to do it in front of everybody. Everybody who witnessed that shit that they pulled and nobody intervened to tell her to, get her off of you or anything like that. They just gonna sit there and watch. That's why it's up to you to put them in check, to put her ass in check. And you do it in a way where everybody can hear it, they'll be in check too. So in case was thinking about, trying to follow suit and get jiggy too. Oh no, I would have punched that bitch. First, my main number one pet peeve, no, I have about 20 of them, but this is definitely in the top 20, is people snatching stuff from me. I have fired on my daughter for snatching something from me. I was like, I told you before when you was a little kid, don't try to snatch nothing from me. This woman from my job she tried to snatch some papers out of my hand. I snatched it back and I pushed her away. And I'm like, don't ever try to snatch anything from me. If I have something in my hand you want it, you ask me. And she was like, oh, I didn't. I said, yeah, you did. I don't know what made you think that you had the right to be snatching something out of my hand. Because, a lot of times when there's white people and they have this attitude and you're the only black one, you don't quite know how to take it. Is this some kind of hidden racism thing where you think that you don't have to treat me with respect and dignity because I'm black? Or you think, I don't know what you know what I mean? But the question comes up. You might decide that that's not the reason, but the question does come up, especially when it's a non-black person and a black person, and you're the only one, and you're the only one that they treat like that. It becomes kind of like an unavoidable conclusion, because sometimes, when you talk to white people about their racism and stuff, they don't even realize they have these racist beliefs until you point them out. And so, a lot of them are embarrassed and, say, well, I didn't even realize that's so deeply ingrained. And I'm like, yeah, I know, but it's still there. And I'm pulling your coat now. You don't do that shit again. Because everybody gets one pass. I'm going to tell you what you did wrong. Do the shit again and see what happens. So that's what you need to do here. You're going to attribute it to her being drunk. And I'm telling you, drunk people don't magically think up nothing. They do what's already in their mind to do. They use the alcohol as an excuse. Don't let her. Let's move on to question 13 of 24. This is a female in the 18 to 21 age group from San Rafael, California. The boyfriend that I've been with for more than 2 years has a troll account on Twitter where he's outright ignorant, wow, about the BLM movement and constantly makes offensive jokes about trans people and black people. I feel so betrayed and dumb that I only find out about this now. So she's 18 to 21 in San Rafael. A bit of background here. I'm definitely left-wing and most of my values are usually socialist. My boyfriend is pretty much the same, at least that's how he's been presenting himself, except he's slightly conservative on a few issues. We both like edgy humor. He's a white cis man and I am an Asian cis female. We are both 21 years old. Oh God, they use that tranny language. However, the things that he posted on his troll account is just outright offensive and not edgy humor. He baits people with the identity of black trans women and makes sarcastic comments on almost every single social justice movement, especially BLM and trans rights. It is shocking to see that he has never made any negative remarks on BLM and trans people in real life. Instead, the opinions that he has been presenting are the exact opposite of that. I'm not even sure what's happening anymore. To be honest, I would have been okay if I found that we have very different political views, but this is beyond that. Also, not to provide justification for him, but if he has been lying all this time, it would even make sense. His family is liberal. It wouldn't even make sense. His family is liberal. His parents would occasionally have some outdated opinions, but he would always speak against them. I found out about this troll account by accident. He doesn't know I know yet. What should I even do now? I'm still shocked. I'm even having a problem just typing all this. I know I can just ask him about it, but honestly, I don't even want to talk to him because I don't even know who he is anymore. That would be a good way to start it, just to ask him, who are you? Who are you? Because I feel like you've been gaslighting me, pretending to be something that you're not, and then tell him what you found. So it's like a matter of, you're on both sides, you're at opposite ends of the spectrum. Who is the real you? I don't feel like I know it. And this person that you're presenting here on this troll account, you're too comfortable with it. You're too comfortable with it, and it just seems like, a side of you that I don't like. I don't respect, I can't tolerate, and I refuse to be involved with you. And that would be the end of that. So that's why you're hesitating. You're trying to say, that you don't want to talk to him, you don't know who he is anymore. You're using all those kind of excuses, but what it really is that he's a racist pig. You don't want nothing to do with him. Because, see, my thing is this: if you got a white boy and he's talking about black people and he's talking about trans people, trust he's going to be talking about Asians too. You just didn't see it. So you have a lot to think about, but the bottom line is there is no way you could wrestle this around in your mind to excuse this behavior. So that's what you're trying to do, I can tell. But you don't even try it. Just get rid of him. This dude, he's just, my goodness. Question number 14. I mean, I can see if he had just done one or two things, you know what I mean? But she's reciting dozens and dozens of examples. So this means this is a deeply ingrained behavior pattern of him. It's another way that he's thinking. So you don't know, is this the real him? Is the other one the real him? Is he faking that he's all these things and just under this troll account to play? I doubt it. Or is he just faking all this stuff because he knows that is what I need to hear? That's what I think it is. Question number 14, in this male in the 21 to 25 age group from Hialeah? I don't know how to pronounce that. Florida, never heard of it. Hello, Deb and Candace and Shay. Oh, Shay, you got a shout out. I have been dating a girl for maybe 2 months now. Or as I put it, we've been on 7 dates. We have never done anything intimate. A kiss on the cheek was it. I'm traveling about an hour to meet her to only hang out. I don't know if she is taking it slow or just wants a friend. She is critical of some things and seems to keep her guard up. She won't come to where I live. We met on Bumble, and whenever I make a suggestion, it's either too far or out of her comfort zone. Before she came to Florida, she was engaged to a guy and dated him for like 7 or 10 years. I await your thoughts and advice. Thanks for reading my letter. This isn't going to go anywhere. It's not going to go anywhere. You got so much. She don't even want to come to where you are. That means, you know what I mean? That's a kind of a one-sided situation. She will never get a chance to know you in your turf. See your friends, see where you live, see your neighbors, meet your coworkers. You know, all the things that people do when they start mingling their lives as they form a couple. Your lives blend. She has a definitive boundary there, but she's never going to come to where you live. That means all of that blending that we look forward to as we move forward in our relationships is not ever going to happen. So all you're going to have is you spending all your time and money going to see her, and then no intimacies, no progress in a relationship, no nothing, and then you go back home. And I'm thinking you must be super lonely. You must be super lonely to want to think that this is some appropriate way for you to be. Okay? This is really not the ticket. Let's move on to question 15, I'm sorry. Female 35 to 40 from Los Angeles. Oh man, I have an older man, younger woman issue with my 51-year-old brother who is engaged to a 31-year-old woman. It doesn't help that she also has a baby face and looks even younger. I'm not trying to be judgmental, and they do seem pretty crazy about each other, but I just can't help but think in 15 to 20 years down the road, my brother's going to be an old man and she's going to still be a young woman. And from what I gather, she enjoys the physical aspects of the relationship that most men are fading out of by late 60s. For the longest time, I thought this girl was just a fun younger thing and that she's passing on through. Nope. He announced last night at dinner to the family that they're getting married, and he will hear nothing negative about it. Can it work? Nope. I mean, it's going to work for a while, you know what I mean? But it can work for a while as long as he stays healthy and still looks good. But you bring up an interesting point, especially black men, they don't usually take care of themselves that well. So around, the mid-60s, the early 60s and stuff, they start falling apart. All kind of stuff's be going wrong. They pressure. They got the sugar. And they start having ED issues because of it, or the drugs that they be on. So, it's going to be the kind of thing, he can enjoy it while he wants to. But it sounds like what he's trying to do is line him up a young nurse to take care of him when he hits 60 or 70 years old. She only going to be in her 40s. All right? She going to still be a spring chicken. She going to be hitting that sexual heat stretch in your 40s where you just want to screw anything that holds still. And so he ain't going to be able to handle that because she's going to be in her 40s and he's going to be in his 60s. He's going to be at home by himself. That's what's going to happen. And he's going to be telling you, why did you stop me? He's trying to get that last little spark of youth. I guess, whatever. I don't know why he must have a lot of money, either that or she's stupid. One of the two. Question number 16, male, 18 to 21 from the UK. My girlfriend and I got together in January, and things have not been working out well between her and my family. She wants to spend every minute of the day with me, and I can't take no for an answer most of the time. We've known each other for 5 years, but we've always been friends. It ended pretty ugly. Her relationship ended pretty ugly after 3 years, and she was kicked out by her ex, and we started dating not long after. The difference between the two of us is that he had a whole apartment for himself, therefore he could spend more time with her whenever she wanted to. That's not the case with me. I'm only 19. I still live with my family, which is my sister and my parents. They've always been strict on me because they saw potential in me to do something great with my life. I still have to get home at a certain time, which I understand, house rules and all. You might start to see the problem here. My girlfriend wants to spend every minute of the day with me and a family that doesn't like it. She pretty much hates them now. I had a talk with my family the other day to discuss what's wrong, and they came to a conclusion that after we got together, I vanished from everyday family life. I seem to have lost my previous goals in life and that we're way too quick on the throttle. Even when I'm home, she wants to chat all the time and calls me a few times a day, which normally wouldn't be a problem if those calls wouldn't be for hours, and that her clothes and other stuff should be in my drawer after just 4 months. Sleepovers are pretty frequent, at least they were, before a big argument here at the home between myself and the rest of the family. I love spending time with her. I love this beautiful girl, but I've come to the point where I don't know what to do. Summer's coming, she'll have even more free time, and she wants to bring me on a family holiday, which I don't really feel that good about. On the other hand, I don't want to lose her, and I really don't want things to go bad between her and my family. I just canceled a planned meet due to my father's 50th birthday. I should have told her earlier because it was planned months ago. So we're about to celebrate his birthday on Saturday, though. Long story short, same old, same old. Why can't I just say no to my family? Or why couldn't the celebration be on Sunday? She even suggested breaking up. We meet each other almost every day, like 4 days out of the 7. I really do love this girl. I couldn't see her with anyone else. We've known each other for 5 years and been best friends. Should I keep fighting for our future? No, you should not at 19. You don't have a future. This girl, the fact that your family noticed that you disappeared from life and that you seem to be derailed from your goals, those are very telling things. And I'm sure as parents, since they have all these high expectations of you, are concerned. Like I said the other day, the number one thing that can make or break you in life is your choice of a partner. And you have somebody who wants you all to herself to the point where she gets angry at you having a relationship with your own family. She wants to interfere with that by keeping you on the phone talking to her, being at your house every night so you can't really be with your family because you have to entertain her, locked up in the bedroom and all this other stuff. Young man, you really need to think about this. There's things, healthy ways to have relationships, and then there are unhealthy ways. And when someone tries to isolate you and take over your life and make demands that you do things that take you away from your normal routine and your hobbies and interests, that is a very dangerous person. That's a very dangerous relationship. What you need to do is find the courage to realize you might love her at 19, but you're going to love so many people as you move through your 20s and 30s. It's not even, I think, how many people have I loved? Even if I only loved them for a day or two, still, dozens. But, am I with them? No. Because after a while, you find something about them that you don't love, and then you don't love them no more. And that's just the way it is. So think about that, though. Really think about what it is you want for your future and how this relationship is impacting those goals. And I think you'll understand where I'm coming from. Question 17, this is more of a moral scruple dilemma question than something I'm actually worried about. And it's not on the immediate horizon. I just wonder if I'm thinking about this the right way. I've been with my boyfriend for 3 years and I love him to bits. I have a nearly 11-year-old daughter from a previous marriage. My daughter and my boyfriend get on well, and I would like over time to think about moving in with him. I've always waited to take this very slowly for my daughter's sake, and a long time I thought it might not ever happen. I'm about to inherit some money, which will be enough to upgrade my flat and hopefully get a bigger place with more bedrooms. The logical step in this scenario would obviously be for me and boyfriend to pool savings and buy a property jointly. The trouble is, I really don't want to share equity in the property or finances with anyone. I lost out in my divorce, and it's taken me a while to build myself back up. I'm now reasonably solvent, and my flat is in my name only, and I love the security this gives me. I want it to be my daughter's inheritance and not for anyone else to have a claim on our family home. On the other hand, if I were planning to cohabit with someone who in this scenario and they didn't want to pool finances, then I imagine I'd be a bit miffed. And I know he wants to buy property rather than chucking money away on rent, and that he would struggle to get anything of a decent size where we are in London. Would it be hypocritical to suggest an arrangement where he would pay me rent rather than paying into the mortgage? It sounds a bit mean in some respects, but I feel I have to protect myself and my daughter, and my biggest fear is having shared finances with someone. I can't think of anything worse than being financially entangled again. I have no reason to think he wouldn't be entirely trustworthy, and he's good with money, so it's not him, it's me, if that makes sense. I just don't want to give up my hard-won freedom. I'm going to say this. You ain't married, you don't buy shit with nobody. Do I make myself clear? All the stuff all these paragraphs that you wrote about what mighta, coulda, shoulda, woulda, maybe, and possibly, and all the stuff about buying something with him, you're not going to do that. Okay? You're a single mother. All your money needs to be involving you and your kid. And the next thing you do is you're going to go see a solicitor. Okay, that's what they call attorneys in the UK. You see a solicitor and you get a trust drawn up so that your house is in a trust for your daughter, the flat that you have now. Anything else you do, you can just do that. But you want to make sure that your daughter always has that property come hell or high water, no matter what happens to you, or if you get married, if you die, whatever. she's going to have that house, and that's what you set up. Okay, then you worry about what else you might want to buy and all that stuff, and that's going to be yours as well. If you do live with a man, he is going to pay you rent. He's going to sign a quitclaim deed. He's going to sign a rental agreement that shows that he's merely a renter on the property, and then you're going to have that property in your sole name only. Anything that he pays for is going to be like lights, water, garbage, electricity, gas or something, heating, food, whatever. That's what he's going to buy. He's not going to buy nothing that he's going to contribute nothing to your mortgage or the repair of the home or the upkeep of the home, the maintenance of the home, the taxes on the home. That's going to all be you. Okay? And if you can't handle that, then you don't move in with dude. You just keep things just as they are. Question number 18. This is a 30 to 35 age group, London. Wow, a lot from the UK today. I have a what would Deb do question for you. Not sure if this is a weird thing to be worried about, but I've had a situation a couple of times now where a man has asked a question. I've answered giving the level of detail I feel comfortable giving, and then he's asked for more detail. This makes me feel uncomfortable and as if that person is being invasive. I understand that they might be keen to get to know more about me, but why do they need to know every detail about someone they haven't even met? Let me give you some examples. Someone asked me where in London I live, and I say Northeast. And then he says, whereabouts? I don't particularly want to give my exact location to random strangers. I deflected the question, and he got arsy about it, saying I was weird and evasive, so I blocked him as I felt he was overstepping boundaries. Another one this evening has asked me where one of my photos was taken. It's actually somewhere in my parents' village, which is quite small. So I gave an approximate location. Think rural North Wales. And then he asked where exactly. Is it just me, or is this really weird and intrusive? Why on earth does it matter where the photo was taken? What does he need to know? Am I overreacting to this? I just generally don't see the need to give potentially identifying information about myself. And it makes me think they must have a lack of empathy if they don't get why I wouldn't want to. I don't understand this obsession with wanting more detail about totally unimportant things when they could just have a conversation with me about just about anything else. It makes me feel like I'm being grilled or something. Why not reply saying, oh, it looks like a lovely place. I went to somewhere similar last year, blah, 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 blah. Instead of firing questions at me. Because they have, you got to realize a lot of these men on these dating sites have Asperger's. Okay, so they don't understand the social clues and things about how to interact with people and, like saying things that like going to make people think they're weird, being intrusive, being inappropriate, being disrespectful, being, they don't get those kind of things. And so it's those kind of things just pass by. They feel like, well, I wanted to know. And so they're just going to ask you where someone with more social skills, social graces would know better than to ask somebody something like that. They don't have those barriers. So what you would do, like if this were me, right? He said, you say Northeast. And he says, wait, what did he say? Whereabouts. Then he says whereabouts. Then what you're supposed to do is ask him, why do you need to know? So you turn that back around on him. You don't answer the question. You just ask him, why do you need to know that? See, that's a Deb question. Like, oh, why do you need to know that? Okay, then they tell you some bullshit answer, or else they start stuttering. Oh, I guess I don't really. Then they say, oh, yeah, you're right, you don't. Or something like that. Okay, so you don't have to answer. You don't need to get flustered. You just ask them, why do they need to know that? Okay, then another thing, you want to know about your parents' village and stuff. And you think rural Wales, and like, where exactly? That's when you look on a map. You know how they have the latitude and longitude? And you pick some place way away from where you actually took the picture. And you tell him those coordinates and say, now, is that exact enough for you? Since you want to know everything. You want to know all the details and shit. Okay? That's what you do for people like that. Then he's going to realize he was stupid and ask a stupid question and be embarrassed that you gave that kind of answer. And then you go on. Or you could just be like, they ask you them kind of things, they want more details. See, you're right, they're trying to pin down where you are. It is totally inappropriate kind of thing, but you don't need to say that to them. You just, deflect by asking them the question like, well, why do you need to know that? Well, why is that important to you? What is it you hope to gain from that information? That kind of stuff. And getting a feel for where their head is. But I tell you, these dudes, something wrong with them. They just have no social graces. You good. Because, yeah, that thing, the blocking, that was good. I definitely would be on the block mode. Let's move on to question 19. Male, 21 to 25 from Ann Arbor, Michigan. I've been seeing this girl for a month now. She's great. And I really like her. On our second date, we were talking about past relationships. And she said her last relationship ended right before the pandemic. However, they briefly got back together in February of this year, but it didn't work out. Anyway, right before I met her, her 15-year-old cat passed away. So our last date, she pulled up on her Facebook post where she posted about the cat dying so I could see a picture. When she showed me the post, I saw a bunch of comments with condolences and noticed there was a comment from her ex with a sad face, which I guess is normal. But the part that's not normal to me is that they still clearly follow each other on social media. When I got home, curiosity got the best of me. I looked on her Facebook and noticed that this ex of hers has been liking most of her posts even after they just broke up in February. Let me just add, most of the posts he liked are actual pics of her, where she's looking pretty good. Honestly, I've been out of the dating scene for a while, and this probably wouldn't bother me, but it does. She told me they haven't spoke since the last breakup, and I believe her, which I think is a good sign, but this guy making his presence known on social media just rubs me the wrong way. Am I wrong to be feeling this way? No. Let's see, how long did you say you guys been together? Oh, you only seen her for a month. I mean, it's not wrong for you to feel that way, but are you in a position where you have, enough right to say something about it? Nope, not yet. Not on strolling your month. But what you might want to do, which I would probably do, is ask girlfriend, what is it, what's the reason why you and your ex still follow each other on social media? What's all that about? And see what she says. Because, she's like, I find it difficult because, that kind of situation, you're mixing the past with the present. And I don't want to be fighting for your attention from somebody from the past. So, that's something that, to think about. Because all my cars are swept away. There's only room for you here. So, is that something that you feel comfortable doing or no? And see what she says. Because she might say no, I like being associated with my exes and this and that. And you know that that's not what you want to do. So then you know that this ain't going to work out. And it's only been a month, so you can dip out. But it's a good thing that you notice, again, just like the guy whose girlfriend was talking about anal to some dude at a bar. You have your boundaries and what you feel are, your limits and what you feel is appropriate behavior for your mate that protects you emotionally. And, having a bunch of dudes from the past, especially one that she got back with, after that means they had some emotional tie, because otherwise they wouldn't have got back together. So I'm with you. I would be kind of questioning this and giving her the side eye. It's like, yeah, you keeping tabs, y'all keep tabs on each other. That means you're not really through with each other yet. Because when you're really through with your ex, you don't follow them and you don't want them following you because they just be too nosy. Okay, let's move on to question number 20. This is from a young woman in the 22 to 26 age group. Oh, it says somewhere in the UK. I guess she didn't want us to know exactly. So my husband and I are looking to move next year. We mentioned to the mother-in-law, who is single, and to all her other family too. Not much input from mother-in-law at that time. It took a while to choose the area to move to. When we finally announced where we had chosen, she said she'd been thinking of moving there also, which was a surprise to everyone. Didn't ask if it was okay with us, just decided on her own. Last thing I want to be is close to anyone, my own parents, siblings, and friends included. I just don't like being close distance as I like my own space. We've always lived far from friends and family, but same country, and still easy for visiting. We're currently close to mother-in-law, but she turned up uninvited a few times. By moving close to us, it won't guarantee we'll see her more. In fact, I feel I resent her for it and see her less. My husband doesn't want to confront her as it would tick her off. As it is, we try to see her often, include her in lots of stuff. She's been single for over 25 years. She's active, has her own life where she's at the moment with a lot of friends. She's now researched the new area thoroughly, even visiting it a few times without first mentioning it, and now keeps updating us on what is happening there, places to eat, etc. In her head, we've all pretty much moved there. Wow. It's taken a shine off of it, to be honest, as we were looking forward to discovering the area, showing people around when they visit, and having people sleep over and see it as a mini break. I just don't understand why I'm annoyed by this and what is the best way to move forward. Can't really say, mother-in-law, can you please not move to where we are moving? She's 72, has two older daughters who live in different parts of the country, but not far. I know I might feel differently in a few months or by the time we move next year, but I'm quite frustrated at the moment. Sorry for the rant and thanks for listening. Okay, I'm going to say this. Why can't you say that you won't move to the area where we're moving? Why can't you say that? I'm like wondering why. It's like, if it was me, I would have said, okay, now you weren't talking about moving anywhere, but now since we want to move there, and suddenly that's the area you was planning to move to too, we're going to move somewhere else then. Because one thing I don't want to do is live close to you, live close to any of my friends, live close to my family, nobody. I want to live someplace where just us live. So you can move there if you want to. We're going to move somewhere else. That's what I would have told her. And so then she would, all that wind would have got deflated from her sails. So she wouldn't understand. It's not about just you. I don't want to live next to nobody, even my own relatives, because I just want to live somewhere by myself. So I don't understand why you can't say that, and why you and your husband, you're such a milquetoast motherfucker, and you just up there being an old passive aggressive bitch. Say something. Speak up. You a mother, and you can't even talk to your own mother-in-law and just tell her to check her ass. She's 72. She ain't Jesus. Shit. My God. Yeah, I would move somewhere else. If she decides she's moving there, I swear I would move somewhere else. I would move to the other side of the country. Wherever your husband can get a transfer, that's where I would move. Question number 21, female, 21 to 25 from Austin, Texas. My boyfriend and I have been together for more than a year, and I feel like my sensitivity is getting worse. Or like my boyfriend is tolerating it less. I cry easily and always have. Oh, God. Sometimes my boyfriend can say the smallest thing and I cry or get really sad. He is understanding for the most part, but I can tell he gets upset when it's not something super rational or easy to understand. I feel like he has to watch what he says around me, and he agrees. For example, I told my boyfriend what I thought of cooking for the week, and he said, yeah, that's okay, Liz, but you should add this. I took it to heart and felt shot down. Another time, I chose a new bar for us to go to, and my boyfriend wasn't a fan, and he said, I think we should have gone to your second choice. I felt bad about my decision and got really down. Another example, he didn't send me a picture of his dinner like he said he would. He was going to a really nice restaurant, and I wanted to see. I got really sad and felt like he didn't care. Oh, my God. Yo, emotions, you need a shrink. I just shut down and take things really personal. He travels for work a lot and is gone, so we have to rely on FaceTime or text to talk. I feel bad because we'll be FaceTiming and I get sad over something, and then the vibe is killed. I feel like I've ruined everything and like I'm a burden on him. I'm too much to deal with. If you feel like that, then it's true. I'm already in therapy and it's helped, but I've also can't help my knee-jerk reaction. I'm kind of at a loss. I don't know what to do. I have low self-esteem and insecurities. I'm sure it plays a huge role. I try to exercise and eat well, but it doesn't feel like it's enough. I'm wondering if it's my birth control. I got the explaining, I don't know what this is, for the second time. And this time around, I feel like it's made me more sensitive. I don't know. I just want help to not take things too much to heart. Oh, it's called thinking that you're not the most fucking important person in the world. When you think that you're not the most important person in the world, then what other people feel and other people's opinions and all that stuff doesn't bother you, because you realize that there's millions of people in the world and every single one of us is going to have a different opinion. And most of them are not going to be like you and like what you like and wear what you wear and prefer what you prefer. They're going to like what they like. Okay? But you haven't arrived at that yet. You feel omnipotent, like, because you decide something that is like, you know, the most stellar, wonderful thing in the world. And when people tell you that it's not, then you get crushed because you don't put too much on it. You know, you chose this bar. Okay, you chose a bar. Does that mean it was the best decision? Does it mean it was the only decision? No. It just means you made a choice. Okay, but you know, instead of getting upset about it, you know what you could have done? Laugh and say, yeah, I guess so, huh? Because this place is kind of a dump. or something like that. You don't have to take it personally like it's some like interior criticism of your worth or something. It was a bar. Just like you didn't like that one, you could have got up and went to the second choice too. Stayed there for 30, 40 minutes and got up and went to the other one. That's what I would have told him. Well, shit, we still got time. Come on, let's go. Let's go check out the other one. Since we out and about and knocking around checking out bars tonight, let's go. Okay, then you could have compared it. You see this thing that you're getting sad about and making fusses about and stuff. You could have handled these things so different that the evening wouldn't have been lost. You wouldn't have been sitting there pouting like a big ass baby, telling me, "Oh, I get really sad. You want all this attention and shit." He's good because I would have fired your ass. I can't do crybabies and people who always get upset and sad and shit. That shit just irks me to no end. I cannot stand it. I can't stand it. I can't stand it when, I used to date this dude. Oh my God. He would go into his head like about the past, right? And he would sit in his living room. It sounds stupid now, but I was young and I thought it was weird, like science experiment weird, but I didn't know it was like seriously fucked up at that time. I was like, 18, 19. So he's sitting in his chair in his apartment. He's a little older. And he got this apartment. He's sitting in his little chair. And he was sitting there in the dark. And he'd be sitting there, like getting morose over some shit that happened 10 or 15 years ago. Like when he was a kid. And talking about that shit and getting like himself all worked up about it. And getting upset and mad and sad and stuff about it. I had never seen nobody do no shit like that before. We aren't like that in my family. So I had never seen anything like that before. And that's how he would do. He would work himself up into a state. And so you are the same way. There's two ways to respond to at least two ways to respond to every single situation. And every one of them, you chose to go, the negative, to be sad, depressed, cry, and just, act a fool and get all in your feelings. That's some very juvenile, immature shit. So you need to grow up, chick. And realize just because you like something or you see something a certain way, your lens on the world is not the only way to see stuff. And when other people have a difference of opinion, don't internalize it as anything wrong with you. It's just different. Okay? Your parents should have taught you that. Damn participation trophy mentality, heifer. Question number 22. Female, 30 to 35 from Colorado Springs. Hi, Deb and Candace. I need help figuring out a way to get my ex to stop talking to me. Oh, wait. No, stop stalking me. I moved to a new state to get away from him. He ended up following me and moved to the same state. He sent me an email saying I inspired him to move here. I felt so safe and happy, and now I feel under threat like I'm being watched. I have asked him numerous times to please leave me alone and stop contacting me. But he keeps sending me emails that are blocked, but they go to another folder in Google so I can see them. I don't want to get a restraining order due to impacting his career or getting an apartment or home due to background check. That shows that you just a wuss. I just want him to stop following me. I'm thinking of moving to a new state next year because of this. It makes me feel so upset I have to do this to get away from him. Do you think if I throw him off by posting photos of a new location on social media, he might move back to the home state or to this new location instead of restraining order? I thought I could throw him off my trail. This is so stressful. Oh, Colorado's a big state. He's in the same state. I mean, is he in the same city? He's in the same area as you? Does he know where you live? How did he find out that you were in Colorado? Who did you tell that he socializes with? Or did you post it on your social media account? And so he follows you so he was able to see all the dirt and know everything about what you do. See? That's, you guys don't be thinking. Close your social media accounts. Make them private. Okay? Nobody who's not already a friend should be able to see what's on your page. Then, if he keeps harassing you, file a restraining order. What is the problem here? You're worried about his job and this stuff. He's not worried about it. That's why he keeps harassing you. So the person needs to be worried about his career and him getting an apartment and, a background check and all that stuff. It's him, but he's not. He's just worried about how he's going to be fucking over you. So that's when you turn it around and you go down to the court and say, this man, I moved from a whole state to this one to get away from him. And he's followed me here. And now he keeps harassing me with emails. I want a restraining order. I want him to leave me alone. And then that's what you do. But as long as you keep worrying about him over yourself, you will continue to have this problem. Question 23. This is a female in the 26 to 29 age group. It says, somewhere in Kansas. After 7 years of living in different states, I moved in with my SO. He has a much better job than I did, full-time with benefits and near 6 figures. So I knew it up front would be better for me to move to him. But I didn't want to live in his father's house in the town he grew up in. I'm not good with change, like really bad with it. So I just wanted us to be fish out of water together. So we moved into the apartment together, different part of the state, and things were good. There were some growing pains, which would be expected. Then we got the pandemic, but we got through it. We even got another cat. We got a new job. He got a new job. Our lease was up. We were preparing to move to a new place. We've always we wanted to get married, and we finally started talking about it when we would actually do it. But then his dad died. It was completely unexpected. His younger sibling, who was a near early 20s, non-binary person, still lived with the father. So our moving plans changed. So now we live in his father's house in the town he grew up in with a roommate. This town is very, very dense with people. There's no stores, it's endless suburbia. There's literally only one major road that's backed up with traffic every day. To go to any store is a pain in the ass. I used to live in the woods where there's nothing useful, but at least there wasn't traffic stopping me from going somewhere. If I go outside here, all I see are cars on the main road. I escape to parks in different towns because I feel claustrophobic. This house is a project house. I mean, it has been updated since the 70s. Then she talks about how bad it is. The sibling is messy. The kitchen table is invisible to me. I never look at it because it can be messy as their heart's desire. But he uses one of our new pans to cook and then left it on the stove for 4 days with food in it. Ugh. Coffee beans on the counter is an everyday thing, and only one person in this house drinks coffee, and it ain't me. Intimacy with SO is lacking because the sibling is always here. They have another friend who stays over 2 or 3 times a week and stays until midnight, taking over the living room. Wow. Sibling's room is right next to our bedrooms. It's hard to enjoy intimacy when half my brain is thinking I have to be quiet. Wow. Sibling is in therapy. SO is in therapy, and I'm in therapy for anxiety. Okay, y'all 3 coops. My SO and I have discussed how long we lived here and settled in a year. I'm struggling now. I've been struggling since we moved. I want to scream on a daily basis. I have no comfort zone. Maybe I could make a year, but what if it's more? Okay, my thing is, okay, he had to move there because he has a 20-year-old brother, move into the dad's house, I guess to take care of him. I don't know if 20-year-olds should be able to take care of themselves, but whatever. Why do you feel that you had to move there? You thinking just because you guys were talking about getting married, it's not like you're engaged and it's not like you're married. So you chasing a boyfriend and going through all this trauma and drama and stress and strife over a boyfriend that you know you could have 3 of them tomorrow. You don't have to stick with this one. So what would I suggest? I would suggest you in therapy and you losing it mentally and emotionally and stuff to be in this relationship. That is a sign that you need to let this go. Let it go. Let it go. Before you end up in the loony bin. You're sacrificing too much. And it's one thing to love somebody, but it's another thing to love them to the point where you sacrifice your own peace of mind and your happiness and your mental state to be with them. And you're doing all of that, and you should never sacrifice to that level for anyone. So let's move on to the final question of the day, which is just in time because it's starting to get dark. And all my lights and everything, all my stuff is in the other room. So let's hurry up before y'all can't see me. Question 24, female, 22 to 25 from Tulsa, Oklahoma. I have a Facebook friend who won't stop messaging me. We've talked a couple of times in high school, but that's really it. We haven't talked in years. Not sure if anyone else has been in the situation with people they went to high school with. But he messaged me one day out of the blue. He was slightly flirty, but I didn't think too much of it. We chatted a little bit, but I made it clear I wasn't interested in hanging out, and he knows I have a boyfriend. I've left him on read and not answered messages. When he sees I'm active on Facebook, he will message so that I don't miss the message. If you're wondering why I haven't blocked him yet, it's because he lives a couple of streets down from me, and I'm 95% sure he knows which house I'm in. That's the main reason why I haven't blocked or replied to messages. I know it's rude to leave someone on read, but I'm a little concerned because I do not know him personally, so I would hate for him to show up at my door. I could also just be overthinking. I think I'm in a situation because I probably didn't handle it well enough from the beginning, but I guess it's too late now. Any advice is appreciated. No, it's not too late. All you do is you send him a note and say, I need you to stop messaging me because it's causing problems in my relationship. Use your boyfriend as an excuse. Yes, you're lying, but so what? It's a very viable and sounds, like a sensible response. Men know about other men marking their territory, and he knows that what he's doing is some shit another dude wouldn't like. So that's what you're going to do. You say, my boyfriend is not really feeling me getting all these texts and stuff, messages from some other dude that I used to know in high school, so please stop. I don't want to have any problems in my relationship. I need you to stop. And if it's better, I could just block you to make sure that happens. But I would rather not do that, but I will if you don't adhere to my request. And then that's all. That's all you have to say. And then he'll be, he'll stop. And if he doesn't stop, then you block him. End of story. Okay? But you would have asked him first, and you would have provided a viable reason for your request. So only a fool would do something after that and not pay attention to what you requested of him to do. So that's what I have to say. Those are my ideas about that. And you guys, I just really hope that my stuff is fixed by Friday. I don't want to keep doing this. My kitchen is cute and everything, but it's just not really it's not set up for live streaming. And it's just not. So, so we will be back on Friday, right? We got a couple of more Flummox Friday shows. And I got, and then we'll start the DNN the second Friday in June. And I hope you guys, if you haven't had a chance to check out the video I uploaded yesterday, why did it take like 4 hours to upload that video? Check that out. It's the first in the series that I talked about a couple of weeks ago. My 12-step program for how not to be a stupid woman, but I changed it to silly for Google. But it basically, it goes over some 12 points where women just really just screw up bad and will make choices and decisions that put them in the category of a silly or stupid woman. And so I don't want that to be you. So I'm going to do this 12 video series over the next couple of months as the mood hits. And I hope that it's very educational for you and that you guys learn something, okay? So check that out, and I will see you here on Friday at the same time at 6 p.m. Pacific. If you're not already a subscriber to the Debsterism channel, please hit that subscription button, okay? And then, share a video or two, and be sure to hit the like, too, before you leave up out of here. All right, I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.